What is good, ladies and gents? Welcome to the MKO Pugilism Boxing channel, where we talk all things box. Remember to like and subscribe. Always hit the bell notification, put it on all so that you can get notified immediately. As soon as we drop any blogs on this channel, you'll be the first to know. So let's get into this one. So the moment has nearly arrived. It's Friday night as I'm recording this video, and tomorrow, Saturday, or early hours of Sunday morning for us British people over here in England, we're gonna see it finally. It's Canelo Alvarez versus Billy Joe Saunders. So it is upon us, and the week has not been without its dramas. Towards the beginning of the week, I think it was probably around Monday, Tuesday, something like that, there was this drama about Billy Joe Saunders and his dad was saying, we're going to walk away from the fight. First of all, they're not giving us a British judge. Now they expect us to box in an 18-foot ring, and 18-foot ring is quite a small size or whatever. And he was saying, we wanted a 24-foot ring. Now they're trying to mug us off with a little ring, little 18-foot. And then they tried to tell us 20-foot. And there was all this mess about Team Saunders saying, all right, you're not going to give us 24, which 24-foot is a massive ring, big ring for middleweights, as Hatman was saying in his blog. And so they said, we want 22-foot. That was what Saunders was demanding. And it got to the point where his dad at least was saying, yep, they're not going to give us, they're not going to budge on the ring, therefore we're going to walk home. He was telling the fan in his IFL TV interview, talking about, all you fans, get your money back, get your refunds, we're going home, we're not going to get treated like this, we're getting mugged off. Eddie Hearn prefers Canelo, this is a Canelo show. There was all these hilarious moments, Billy Joe Saunders talking about, in the face-off, we know that you like your beef, Canelo, you like your Mexican beef and all this sort of stuff. His dad was talking about it as well in an interview. But thankfully, that stuff has now been resolved, and it looks like now, for all intents and purposes, well, it is on. We can confirm now that the fight is on. It is going to happen. And we are going to see it tomorrow. So let's get into a bit of a prediction blog. And for me personally, not much has changed. I mean, Saunders, I think, has kind of got into he hasn't really got into Canelo's head, but he's kind of at least sort of giving it to him a bit. He's at least sort of trying things with him. They had the face off, and Saunders was there in his little Versace dressing gown and saying, you love the beef, you love beef, innit? You like the beef, and trying to wind up Canelo, getting his head and everything. And I mean, in all honesty, you got to try things like that with Canelo. He's one of those guys that seems seemingly mentally strong, mentally solid as a rock. So you got to try things to rattle him, and that's what they've been doing. They've been in the lobby and everything of the hotel. Saunders' teammate talking about, I'll bust you up, Canelo, blah blah blah. And Canelo said in the face-off that, you made big mistake. You have made very big mistake. But for me personally, I definitely see Canelo taking this one unanimously on points. I believe that the fight will be quite a one where Canelo will have to make some adjustments. Saunders has got attributes and's got skills that will bother Canelo. I think the fact that he's a southpaw, the fact that he's quite slick and he likes to box and move, I think that just that fact alone, his style of fighting, I think that's going to bother Canelo. That's going to give him a bit of trouble at least. But ultimately, I think Canelo's just got the sort of better ring IQ and the better, the better sort of boxing brain, where I think after a few rounds, give him like sort of 3-4 rounds, I think he'll be able to figure out Billy Joe Saunders' pattern. I think he'll be able to figure out the way Billy Joe Saunders moves, and I think that's where he'll get to Saunders, and he'll sort of take over from from sort of the first third of the fight to the middle rounds and onwards. I think Canelo will get stronger as this fight goes on, and he'll just, for me at least, he'll just have too much ring intelligence for Billy Joe Saunders, and I think he'll figure him out and he'll break him down. The one thing I do think will happen is I think this fight definitely goes points. I think Saunders he has good attributes, good boxing skills and everything. He's got a bit of a height advantage over Canelo, but Canelo's just so smooth and so good at sort of closing the distance, and he's so good at kind of getting his opponents to do all the work while he just sort of follows them around, puts pressure on with his feet, and lands devastating punches. He kind of almost counter punches on the front foot, and he's comfortable going forwards and going backwards, and it's one of those where Saunders does have the potential, I would say, for upsetting Canelo. He does have some of the skills and attributes, but I think, as Teddy Atlas said, the thing he doesn't have is that he doesn't necessarily do anything better than better than Canelo. He doesn't excel in like any area sort of better than Canelo. So it's going to be one of those where, skills wise, I think Canelo's superior, and I'll be very surprised if Saunders can cause the upset here. I think it will be a fight where there will be some excitement in it. I think there'll be a bit of drama here and there, but I think ultimately it's going to be one of those where the first few rounds will be quite cagey, quite tentative, but I think eventually it will become the Canelo show, and Canelo will sort of take over and dominate the latter half of the fight. And it's one of those where Canelo he's just mastered the art of winning fights. And although you can say, yeah, Billy Joe Saunders is undefeated, that's what a lot of people say in his favor, which is true, but he's not fought anyone close to the caliber of a Canelo, and he's not really mixed in sort of the great company that Canelo's mixed in. I mean, you think of guys like Floyd Mayweather, Erislandy Lara, people of that nature. He's just mixed with everything. He beat Callum Smith and made it look easy. Now, granted, of course, Smith is a different proposition. He's a more come forward fighter, but at the same time, he had height and reach over Canelo, and Canelo just made it look like nothing. Not to mention, beating Beefy Smith. He's just such a phenom that it's really hard to sort of pick against him right now. So for me, I'm picking Canelo by points, possibly late stoppage, but I think it's most likely going to be by points in a unanimous decision. So that's just my thoughts on it. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you think Billy Joe Saunders has any chance in this fight, or do you think he's going to get stopped? Or let me know what you think about this one. But for me, I can't see any other result than a Canelo victory, probably by points. And that's my thoughts for now, and until next time, this is MKO Pugilism, over and out. Catch you on the next one.